All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about crafting irresistible offers that sell themselves. Now, this is something that is very, very important because one of the primary objections I hear from people all the time when they're building their business is, I'm not a good salesperson. I don't like selling. Selling is icky. Selling feels bad. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sell. And yet, here's the thing. They think you have to be some super slick, super polished, manipulative person to make sales, to be able to get sales through, to be able to get sales into your business, to be able to succeed. And because they're not like that, because they don't want to be manipulative, because they don't want to go out and do things that are unethical, they think, well, that's what it takes to get business. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to give up on my business. And that's one of those things where you couldn't honestly be more wrong. Because here's the deal. Here's the thing that I've learned, and the thing that I know. And that is, when you have an amazing offer, when you have something that is just like, this is incredible, this is going to change my life, this is exactly what I need, this is exactly what I want, you could be a terrible salesperson and still make sales. Because the offer is so good, the people just want it. They don't care if you are gifted at selling. They don't care how smooth you were in your presentation. They see it and they go, oh my goodness, I want that. That is amazing. How do I sign up? How do I do this? And I've had times like this. I've been on conversations with people. I've been talking to them about various different things. And when I met with them, I was explaining kind of how the program worked and different things. And literally people would stop me and just say, David, just stop. How do I sign up? Like, oh, okay. Like you get it. You get the vision. You're seeing how amazing this is. You're seeing how valuable this is. You're seeing how important this is. And you want it. And as a result, I didn't have to be selling anything. All I had to do was show them how amazing the offer was. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because this is something that will solve so many of your sales problems. This is something that will make selling 10 times easier. Is if you can create an offer that is so irresistible, that is so amazing, that is so much of a no-brainer, that people look at you and just say, how do I sign up? You don't need to be pushy. You don't need to be sleazy. You don't need to be manipulative. You don't have to do anything unethical. You just show them, hey, this is amazing. See it? I've seen this too many times in organizations, that an organization has an amazing, amazing offer. And even people who suck at selling, who have no people skills, who have no ability to sell whatsoever, are still making sales. They're still doing it. Why? Because the offer is so incredible. People are seeing it. People are figuring it out. They're going, this is it. This is the amazing thing that I need in my life. This will solve my problem. This will get me what I want. How do I sign up? Okay, all I need to do at that point is to help you put in your order. That's all I need to do. So how do we do this? How do we go about this process? How do we create something that's that amazing? Well, the first thing you really have to understand, the things you really have to do and know, is you have to understand what your client truly wants. And too many times people get this wrong. They don't start at this level. They don't start in the place where they're asking the questions, what do they really want? What are they trying to achieve? What is really the problem? And, there was always an example that I like to use from time to time. And it's about, like, somebody wants to buy a drill, and you may say, okay, here's the different drills, here's the different things, here's the different features on the drills, so on and so on and so on. And you may be talking about that, and you're going, why does this man want to buy a drill? And you may be focused on all the features and all the, the different things, the power, the battery life, or whatever it may be. And you're focusing on all that. And then you come to find out that's not why the man wants to buy the drill. The reason the man wants to buy the drill is because he has a son. and his son is in Boy Scouts or something like that. And the son has some woodworking projects that he's supposed to do as a part of being in the Boy Scouts. And the father wants to spend that time with his son. The father wants to have time with his son working on this project. It's not even about the drill. It's about the time with his son. It's about the relationship. It's about creating a memory with his son. He just needs a drill that's going to make sense, a drill that's going to be a good, solid quality drill that'll do what he needs, will get the work done so he can get to what he really wants, which is having that time with his son. And you need to think about that for your audience. What is it that they're really after? You need to ask the question why a few times. Why do they want this? Why is this important to them? Why are they continuing to struggle with this? Why is this something that they continue to desire? And to do that, you have to go beyond just demographics. You have to go beyond just like, how old are they? Are they male or female? What is their income level? What part of the country do they live in? You got to go to things that are like pain points, which is what I was talking about earlier. What is the real pain point? And the example that I gave, the pain point was, I don't have a drill. And the only way I can have this experience and create this memory with my son is I have to have a drill, because we have to have a drill to do this project that he's needs to do. Okay. That's the pain point. Why does he want the drill? Because he wants to spend time with his son. That's the pain point. That's what he's really after. And what are the desires? What are the outcomes that they want? Why is that outcome so important to them? Because there's one or two things going on. One, they either have a problem that's just causing them a lot of difficulty in their life. Something's wrong. Something's not going well for them. They are having a struggle and they need to solve this, because my life is a mess as long as I have this problem. As long as this is sitting here, as long as I have these issues, this is not good. I have to figure this out. I got to do something to solve this. The other one is, there's something that I want. There's something I'm trying to achieve, something I'm trying to do, something I'm trying to accomplish, and I just can't seem to figure it out. I just can't seem to put the pieces together. And as a result, I need help. I need somebody to show me the way. This dream that I have, this desire that I have to be able to do this thing, to be able to accomplish this goal, to be able to do this, it's so important to me. And I can't seem to quite figure it out. But the real thing is that you as a marketer, as a business owner, need to understand is, why is it so important to them? Why is that dream so important? Why is this problem so critical that it be solved? When you can understand that, you can use language that speaks to your audience at a whole other level. Because now you're like, yeah, I get it. I spent time with my son building projects, doing little woodworking projects as well. Man, I still have those great memories from that. And that man will look at you and go, wow, you get it. That's exactly what I'm after. Now you've connected with your audience. You know your audience. You know what they're after. You know what they're going for. And you need to do that. You need to understand that involves doing some research. Too often I see people come out and they're just like, well, I think this is a good idea. I would like this. So if I would like it, I'm going to create a product around it. I'm going to create a service around it. I'm going to create a business around it. Well, okay, you can. But do you know if other people want that? Do you know if this is the dream or the problem that other people are having? Have you clarified that? Have you had enough conversations with people? Have you spent enough time speaking with other people and getting clear on the fact that, hey, this is really true. This is what they really want. This is truly what they're after. And when you do that extra work, when you do that research, when you spend that time having those conversations, meeting with people, talking with people, and understanding, wow, this is really what they want. Because you see, too many times we're guessing and we think we know what our people want. But then the more time we spend with them, we go, oh, that's not exactly it. It's more like this. And it only comes from experience. You have to have some experience working with people, because you may even be 90% right. You may have 90% of the solution there, but there's those few little tweaks that you can make that take you from a maybe to a yes. because you are now connecting and communicating with your audience in a whole new way, in a way that they're saying, yes, that's it. That's exactly what I'm going for. Then once you have that understanding, once you have that clarity, once you have that clear vision of your ideal customer, who are they? What are they about? What do they want? Now it's time to put something together that's going to be exactly what they're looking for. Now you understand your client very, very well. You understand their needs. You understand what they're looking for. You understand what they want. And you can build something that's going to not only easily do what they're after, but even go beyond it. And this is the thing that we always have to keep in mind as you're building your offer, as you're putting it all together. You don't just need deliverables. You don't just need another, you don't just need another couple things to hand them. You don't need a couple more or pieces or another workbook, another video, another this. That's not really what they're looking for. What they're looking for is an outcome. What they're looking for is a transformation. Can you give me a solution? Can you get me the thing that I desire? Can you bring me to where I want to be? And all of that becomes this just all of a sudden when they see it and when they look at it, they go, this is it. This is going to do it. This is going to get me what I want. And when you do that, you're going to be like, holy smokes, this is amazing. This is incredible. Yes. How do I sign up? And when you've shown them that the value that you're giving them, the solution that you're giving them, the results that you're going to give them are so incredible, you can charge much more than you would even think you could charge. Why? Because they now see the vision. They now see the outcome. They now see what is possible. They now see what they could be receiving. And this is really, that is just... it's just things that are just going to make them go, yes, I have to do this. I saw something the other day, and it was, we always think, well, how much could I charge for this? How much should I really be able to do? I don't know if I could charge that much. Would people really buy it for that? You know what? When somebody is super excited about something, when they see it, when they get it, when they know this is what I want, they'll figure out a way to come up with the money. They'll find a way to come up with the money. They'll say, no, I have to do this. I need this in my life. This is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is going to get me the outcome that I want. And as a result, they'll find a way to pay for it. They'll find a way to come up with the money and to do that. So when you put together your offer, how can you put together your offer in such a way that you've simplified the process? So you've created almost that easy buttons that they, even though it won't be necessarily easy, but they process the thing that they see, the step-by-step process. They go, I get it. I can see myself doing this. I can see myself succeeding. I can see myself having victory here. I get it. I see the finish line. I see the outcome that I want. It is possible. I have to do this. This is the outcome that I want. This is the way to do it. And so when you do that, when we see that, and then you can show them the pathway. Yep, I can show you how to get there. It's just doing the things that when you work with me, I'll do this, I'll do this, and I'll do this, and it'll do everything we need to do to get you the result that you're after. And then we throw in some bonuses and different things, because now once you think through all the things, they're going, that's it. That's what I want. Now it's a matter of there's only one question left, or actually two questions left. One, can they afford it? And two, should they do it now? So here's how you overcome those things. Number one, you can add on bonuses. You can add on extras. You can add on more value and more value and more value. And so many times the best way to add in bonuses, the best way to add in value is simply to put in things like extra workbooks, extra videos, an extra mini course, an extra training, an extra this, an extra that solve problems in addition to the core problem. Because you see, no one just has one problem. No one just has one desire and one thing that they want. Everyone has something on top of that they like, once I solve this, I'm also going to need that. And once I do this, I'm also going to need this. And when you add in those things that also solve those issues, that also address those things, they're going to be like, holy smokes, I have to get in on this. I have to do this. This is incredible. And when you do that, they're going to feel that urgency. Well, even if it is expensive, I have to find a way to come up with the money. I have to find a way to do this because this is so incredible. And so you have all that. And then the other question of is, should I do it now or should I wait? Well, here's the thing. We have to be able to communicate the value of acting now. We have to be able to communicate. And maybe you do that by saying, you know what, we're only looking to work with 5 people right now. And, we're only opening up our coaching program from time to time. We only take on so many clients at once. So if you want to work with us, this is it. It could be months before we open it up again. It could be a long time before we offer this again. And as a result, if you don't apply now, we may not, who knows? You may not get another chance. Or if you're not one of the 5, if you're too slow and you don't get in and you're not one of the 5, sorry, Charlie, but the seats are full. And now you've created some urgency. Now you've created some scarcity. To get people to move now is the last barrier. To get people to act now is the last barrier, because so often people say, this sounds amazing. This sounds incredible, but this just isn't the best time. Well, you haven't shown them the cost of delay. And this is one of the things we battle all the time, because, especially when I do a lot of work with people who are entrepreneurial, who want to start their own business, they want to do these things, they want to work on things. They say, this is amazing, this is great, but I need to do it in 6 months. That'll be when my finances are better. That'll be when I'm in a better position. Sure. Because you know what happens in 6 months? Nothing has changed. I run into those people months later and I talk to them. So how are things going? You said, you were going to work on that for 6 months. And then they give you this look of like, I never really got through that. I never really solved that. And they're still stuck. And you go, that's because you didn't do, our program. It's because you didn't take the step. It's because you didn't take action. You stayed stuck. You stayed where you are. And as a result, nothing changed. And that's what happens all the time. People who don't take action, who don't take the step, who don't do the thing, stay exactly where they are. 6 months later, they're going to be there again. It's another 6 months, they're still going to be there. And they're not going to be any closer. Nothing is going to change because they haven't taken any action. So you need to do that. You need to create that urgency. You need to create a little bit of a, you know what? Here's the slots. If you want to be one of the next ones, this is what you got to do. Otherwise, we're moving on to the next person. And you know what? That person's over there is going to achieve their dream and you won't. So it's up to you. It's your choice. Do you want to be one of the ones that we help become successful or not? If you do, here's your step. Otherwise, it was great talking to you today. And I hope I wish you the best. But this is the thing. And you need to show the value. You need to show how amazing this is. And you need to show them the cost of inaction. Need to show them what's going to happen if I don't do this, or what's going to happen if I do a different path and I go down a different way. If I go down a different program and I'm going to waste a bunch of time. I'm going to waste a bunch of money on things that aren't going to work, or I'm just going to stay stuck where I am. And are you happy being stuck? Are you happy being where you are? Or would you like something better? Or would you like something more? Because if you would, here's a path for you. We'd love to help you. If not, okay, I understand. Not a problem. I wish you the best. But let them feel the loss. Let them feel the sting of, I didn't step up. The reason I'm not more successful, the reason I'm not doing better is I didn't step up. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't take the action step. And now I have to live with regret. I have to live with regret for not doing the thing that I should have done. Lastly, you need to communicate with clarity and confidence. You need to show in your messaging and the things that you talk about, you need to show clear, benefits-driven messaging. Again, too often we get stuck talking about all the things that are in our program. the training, the coaching, the resources, the tools, the tips, the this, the that, all the things that are in there. And while those are important tools, those are important resources, and we need to have them there to help make the client journey work. That's not ultimately what anybody is looking for. That's not going to get anybody to say yes. That's not going to get anybody to buy. Why? Because no one buys because somebody had an extra workbook. Nobody got up this morning and said, man, I wish I had more training videos to watch. Man, I wish I had more courses work to go through. Man, I wish I had more work to do in this program. No, that's not what anybody woke up this morning saying. What they said is, I wish I had this. I wish I had my dream. I wish I had my problem solved. I wish I had this life that I so desire that I haven't yet figured out how to get to. And as a result, if you show them how this will help them get that, this will help them get their desire, this will help solve their problem, this will help create the life that they want, that's what they're after. That is what they're after. That is the dream that they're going through. And if you just show them that, hey, we have a proven framework to get you there, we understand your problem, we have a clear solution, and we can get you the results. It's just a matter of will you take the step? And as a result, you can do all these things, and you can make the life that you want. You can have the thing that you desire. You can have the outcome. You can have this image that you have in your head that's been sitting out there for a long time that you desire. It's all possible. It's all sitting here waiting for you. You just need to take the action step. And as a result, now you've gotten people buying in. Now you've created desire. Now you've created well, I don't want to lose my dream. I don't want to lose the potential of solving this problem. I want to lose the option of I'm missing out on these things. And as a result, there's this hunger, there's this desire that they don't want to miss it because they're not thinking about the training videos. They're thinking about the outcome. The outcome is what they want. So show them how what you do can help them achieve their outcome, how they can get the thing that they want. And by doing this, you leverage testimonials. You leverage guarantees if you need to. Like, hey, if you work with us for 30 days and you're not completely convinced that this is a great decision for you, you can opt out at any time. Or, you use scarcity to boost. You can get, like I mentioned before, like we're only taking 5 people. So if you want to be part of my coaching program, we have 5 seats open. Here's your shot. Apply now. So these are the things. You use testimonials to show, and especially here's something with testimonials that's really, really powerful. If you can take somebody that really struggled, not somebody that was already achieving at a high level and you just help them achieve at a little bit higher level, if you can show somebody who has very limited skills, has very limited abilities, and you took them from a low level to a high level, and you help them achieve a lot higher level dream, now you've done something. Now you've made a difference. Now you've moved the needle because you've got something going, because you've got something, and because they're seeing themselves in there. One of 2 things is going on. They're looking at this saying, wow, if that person can do it, I should be able to do it. Or they're seeing themselves in that person. They're saying, yeah, that sounds like me. I'm questioning whether or not I could do it, but I sound like that person and they did it. Well, if they could do it, I should probably be able to do it as well. So these are all things. These are all things that you can use to help move people, to help get people there. And I hope you're getting the point here. I hope you're seeing and understanding the vision, because this isn't about being slick. This isn't about being sleazy or manipulative. This is simply about showing how your program is so amazing. That'd be crazy not to do it. And this is exactly what they need, exactly what they're looking for, and it will get them the outcome that they would desire. And if you can show that, you can convincingly show them that, yep, this is it. This is where you're going to be. This is what you need. And then it's just a matter of how do I sign up? Which is why people who are not good salespeople, people who are not gifted at selling, can become incredibly successful at selling, because the offer is so amazing. Because the audience or the prospect looks at it and goes, wow, That's exactly what I need. Exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly the things that I'm trying to get to. So again, the keys here, understand what your audience wants. And you need to understand it at a deep level, and you need to get deeper than just the surface. You need to ask the real questions. Why do they want these things? Why do they want that? Then you understand that, and then you start building an offer around that understanding. You build your program, you build your course, you build your coaching all around. Now that I understand my audience really well, I'm going to build an offer that dials directly into that need. I'm going to build something that speaks directly to this and will, with a high degree of confidence, get them the results that they're looking for. And then the last thing is communicate it clearly in a way that builds desire, in a way that builds trust. Never be dishonest, never lie, never be manipulative, never be deceitful. Be honest. Show the way. Show how you can do this. And go through this. And when you do that, and when you lay it out like that, people will start to say yes. And your selling process will become so much easier. Here's a test that I usually use for myself. When I'm looking at an offer and that I'm creating, something that I'm working on, if I look at that offer and I say, would I be an idiot to say no to this? If I can honestly say, I'm not sure if I'm there, then your offer is probably not strong enough. Your offer is probably not where it needs to be. You haven't quite nailed everything you need to put in it. But if you can put together an offer, and at the end of putting this together going, you'd have to be a complete moron not to do this. Now your offer is strong enough. Now your offer is so compelling. Now your offer is so amazing that, we're at a point where you can sell it with such confidence, with such peace, with such certainty, because the value is so insane that there's nothing here that, you're looking at it going, you're an idiot if you don't say yes. Because this is incredible. This is everything you'll ever want, and then some, and more. And when you sell from that place, you sell from a place of confidence. Too often when people are being manipulative, it's because they're selling from a place of desperation. They're selling from a place of fear. No, when you have an offer that is so overwhelmingly good, you're selling from a place of confidence. You're selling from a place where you're just like, hey, we are going to change some lives here. And I know that this works. And I am giving you so much. I'm giving you so many things that you're crazy if you don't say yes to this. And if you do, well, then I didn't want you anyway, because this is that good. But you sell from a place of certainty. You sell from a place of calm. You sell from a place of confidence. And you're not even selling anymore. You're just telling people this is what you need to do. And I can help you, and I can help change your life. So when you can do that, when you can put your offer in such a place that you're saying, yep, you'd have to be an idiot to say no. Now you've got it. Now you've gotten your offer to the place where it needs to be. So it's not about being the best salesperson. This is not about having the best sales tactics and techniques and being manipulative or sleazy or pushy. It's just about having an amazing product that solves a problem that people really want help with. If you can do that, you have created something that is truly irresistible. If you can do that, you'll have something that is so powerful that people will just say, let me at it. How do I sign up? Where do I go to put my credit card in? Let's go right now. So with that being said, I hope you catch the vision. I hope you understand how creating an offer will relieve so much pressure on you for needing to be selling. Look at your offer. How can you make it better? How can you make it stronger? How can you add more value to it? Because when you do that, selling becomes easy. So that's all I got for you in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or if you'd like help building out your business, we always encourage you to check out designlaunchgrow.com. We would love to work with you and help you. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again in the next episode.